Hey, Denise Graves with the Graves Group. So I've moved to Texas and I have land. What do I do now? So today we're going to talk about one of the delightful things about living in Texas. So one of the things you can do if you have like 6-7 acres or more, I've moved here and I'm wondering, how do I take advantage of this agriculture valuation? It's often called an ag exemption, but it's actually a valuation of the land you own for agricultural production. Sounds really complicated, but it's basically not. So in Texas, you are taxed on your house and improvements. So usually an acre out of whatever property you have. So if you have 5 acres in addition to the 1 acre your house sits on, you potentially in Kendall County could file for an ag exemption. So what does that mean? It means the land is valued and taxed at a much lower rate. So is it worthwhile? Absolutely. This is something you want to look into. So how do you do it? Well, you'd be surprised at how easy it is to do, because there's a lot of things that you do to help your natural habitat, watering, feeding, shelter, that sort of thing, that would help you qualify for that ag valuation. The big thing you need to remember, it's tax season. So remember April 30th. So if you just bought a property that had an ag exemption on it or ag valuation on it, you have to apply if you're the new owner by April 30th, or potentially you could lose it. And if you change the name, if you put your property in a trust and it didn't technically change ownership, but the name changes, you still have to file an application. Otherwise, it's just an annual report. There's tons of things you can do to qualify for that ag valuation. Bees are one thing. They're real easy. They're not considered wildlife. So just so you know, you do have to have an ag exemption before you can do a wildlife exemption. Ag exemption's easier to get. If you don't have one on your property now, it does take 5 years between the time you apply for it and it kicks in and you start having a lower valuation on the land. So if you've got lots of acreage, this is something you definitely want to consider. So how does it cost to have this done? I'm here, I don't know what to do, and you're probably already doing a lot of things that help you qualify. I'm going to recommend Plateau. These guys are the best. Plateau Land and Wildlife. For $500, they'll come out, look at your site on site, and tell you, here's what you're already doing to qualify, and here's the other things you need to do. If you decide you want to go to a wildlife exemption instead, for about $2,000, they can write it for you. The wildlife exemption plans the booklets are like this big. So no matter what you do, this is a great value, a great way to save on taxes in Texas. And I highly, highly recommend that you reach out to Plateau Land and Wildlife. They're local. Dusty there will answer tons of questions and he can make your life simple. Enjoy this great tax savings for you in the state of Texas.